there, it's Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, Worldwide TV Entertainment, Women on TV. See, I'm so excited, I'm mixing up my thing. Women on TV.tv, iTube 247 out in Franklin, Tennessee. And so this is a show that just came together really, really quickly. Eileen Shapiro, who Ruby, you and I and Scott and Jerad know, is always, Brian, I want to put someone on your show. I said, okay. And I couldn't really hear who it was. I'm like, I heard it was Scott. I didn't know it was Jerad. I've been wanting to get Jerad on the show. And then she goes, you're going to like Ruby because he did so-and-so. I'm like, who? And I had a bad connection. So Danielle and I were doing a show before. And I said, who do you want to talk to? Because I'm always teasing her who she wants to talk to. So she goes, I really like Scott Page. I'm like, well, I got to talk to Scott at 1 o'clock. You want to be on the show? And then I was going back and forth with Maddy. I'm like, Maddy, do you want to be on the show? And she goes, sure. What time? So that's how it came together. So I got my two, you got Scott and Jerad. So let's do 6 people. So Danielle Martins, let's tell Ruby who you are and you're coming from Portugal. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Brian. So Ruby, my name is Danielle Martins, of course.
Hi.
And
my name is Ruby Mazur.
Nice to meet you. And I help authors and entrepreneurs to build their remarkable brands and experience sustainable success through a personal branding process. You know, I'm a personal branding strategist. Okay, and I am based in Portugal, but I work with clients all around the world. I am also the branding manager at Hasmark Publishing, which is a Canadian-based publishing house, but we work with clients all around the globe, and we are making history.
Okay, Maddy, tell Ruby who you are. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Maddy, and I live here in Ontario, Canada. So I was originally first introduced to Brian because my mom actually just published a book through Hasmark Publishing Company. So Danielle, I don't think we've met officially, but I'm Maddy and I'm JL's daughter. So yeah, that's how that connection was. And then Brian was like, oh, well, Maddy, we'd love to have you on the show as well one day, because my mom's book is loosely based around me. And it's really awesome timing because Brian's been a huge help in helping me. I just opened up my own e-com business. It's a clothing brand. It's called 478. And the brand is really just all about the importance of connecting with the present moment in the fast-paced society we live in, you know, really just taking a moment, taking a breath. 478 is actually a breathing technique that's commonly used throughout the world. So, you know, breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 7, out for 8. And, you know, just the benefits of that and just really connecting and to ourselves and disconnecting from our external world. So, yeah, I'm really excited to be here.
Okay, Ruby, go ahead. Talk about your iconic paintings and everything that you've done, because now I remember who you are. Go ahead.
Well, I got out of college and became, I was 21 years old. By luck, I became the executive art director for Paramount Records at 21. Yep. That first year, I was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Album Covers. The last cover I did for Paramount was a little keyboard player that my brother and I represented, and his name was Billy Joel.
Yep.
So with that, I promised Billy I would do. I think I'm being...
That's okay, Ruby, swipe it. Because the one and only Scott Page is on.
Hello, excuse me.
Of course he sneezes when he comes on.
Excuse me. Ruby.
Ruby.
There he's gone.
So Ruby was just telling us what was going on. So since when he comes back, so Scott, tell Danielle from Portugal and Maddy from Ontario, Canada, who you are, what you're doing, because Scott, everybody, has a lot of things always going on. This is why we were doing this show. And then we're waiting for his friend Jerad to come on because Ruby was in the middle of telling us the story and he got interrupted. Scott, take it away.
Ruby got interrupted. How could that be? Ruby's my new best friend.
I know.
Is that Steven?
Oh, yeah, Rudy. It's Steven here.
Yeah. I don't know how to get back on here. Jerad screwed me up.
Oh, you can't find your little phone. You need your little phone. Is the video's turned off. Are you on your you're on your iPhone?
Yes, I am.
So you got to touch the screen down there at the bottom and get the little menu to come up and turn your camera back on.
Shit.
And look at Jerad. Jared's looking cool as usual, obviously.
He's got Disneyland in the background because I can see Harper's working there in the background getting some work done. Oh, there he is. His audio. He can't hear yet.
See, this is the fun part, Scott, about technology, isn't it? So until Jared gets its audio up, Ruby comes back. Scott, take it away. Tell these two young ladies what's going on in Scott Page's world.
Well, we're having a great time here over at Cosmic Wire, rocking and rolling. You know, I connected up with Jared's. Hello, up you there? Jared?
There you are. Okay, I'm coming in. All right.
This is a really fine-tuned episode here.
You're a well-oiled machine here.
Well-oiled machine.
I think Ruby just dropped off.
Yeah, hey, Jerad, it's good seeing you again. So,
hey, Brian, how you doing? I didn't realize you were the same Brian I was talking to. So this is really
I
fun.
had to hip him up to this whole thing, right?
Well, there's only one of you guys. So, Jerad, hold on. We're gonna have Scott tell everything what's going on, and then have Ruby coming back because Ruby's coming back. See, so the girls got it done. It's just guys doing things up right today.
All the time, every day. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're very, very excited. Jerad and me have now partnered up. We're kind of building out. He started Cosmic Wire. I started my company. We're kind of bringing all these things together. And we met up with our brother Ruby here. Rudy Mazur, ladies and gentlemen. Rudy. No.
Hey, Steven, how are you?
We kid each other about that because I keep calling him Rudy and then he calls me Steven. So it's perfect. Hi, buddy. Good to see your smiling face here. I'm happy to see you. Okay. So anyway,
how are you, my boy?
It's Ruby. He's here.
We're here. We're all back together here. Yeah, things are great, man. Yeah, so I was just telling Brian and them kind of, you know, we met up, we kind of joining forces. Then we got to meet my buddy here, Ruby. And, you know, actually it was really fun getting to meet Ruby because when I got over there, we were over in Maui and we were driving around in his car and he started asking me, hey, do you know this guy? I go, yeah. And the next thing you know, he's calling up Bill Chaplin from the Sons of Chaplin and Tico Torres from Bon Jovi's band. And it's fun that we had a lot of people that we knew, the same folks. So we kind of hit it off real beautifully, and our past is connecting. So we had a great time.
Our rendezvous. Well, yeah. I was introducing myself when Jerad screwed me up trying to come in on this meeting.
Well, he does that a lot.
Did you tell them who or what I was?
No, you go. I just jumped on too. I didn't realize where we were and everything got messed up. So you go first.
It wasn't you, it was Jerad that screwed me up.
I blame myself.
It's always him.
He was probably sleeping again.
Yeah.
All right, so Ruby, you on talking about Billy Joel and how you started to come up with everything with Paramount.
Well, yeah, and then I opened up my own company designing album covers, and we were doing about 30 album covers a week. This is when albums were like real artwork. And I was doing covers for, Billy Joel, Elton John, Steely Dan, Ray Charles, B.B. King, Jimmy Buffett, Jim Croce, over 3,000 covers. And when this whole 50th year was coming about, a year ago, I was diagnosed with a 2.5 centimeter brain tumor. And I was given 6 months to live. And that's quite an awakening. And I was hooked up with my gallery here on Maui. And I said, you know, I really have to do this final exhibition as something spectacular. And as fate would have it, I hooked up with Jerad and Scott, and we came up with this NFT art exhibition. And it's going like crazy.
Now, Scott's been talking about these things because Danielle's in Portugal, Maddy's in Canada. And it's one of those things where all of these, I call Scott a brainchild in my own head because he's always on working something. And then when I met Jerad at Sue Wong's event, we loved this. And then Jared's been, and I've been enticed with Jerad ever since, Scott, you told me that this is someone to watch. So I've been watching Jerad the whole time. Jerad, talk about who you are, and then we'll go back to Scott.
Great. Thanks, Brian. I was equally excited about meeting you too, man, like everything that you're doing. I'm originally an artist producer. I'm on Anti-Fragile Music right now, which is a part of Universal. And on top of that, I've been kind of quarterbacking marketing campaigns for labels, indie and major, for the last decade or so. And so when I created Cosmic Wire, that was just an extension of kind of what I was doing as a producer, because it got to the point where I was working with so many artists that the label thought it made sense to put them all under one roof because they already own half of it because they own half of me, basically. So it was just a kind of a natural evolution of where this all came from. And then I kind of poached all of the marketing teams I've been using for the last decade and then brought in some of my old Silicon Valley friends and kind of created this really forward-thinking multi-conglomerate media company, which the essential premise is just that we're here to fight for content creators and fight for artists, because like I'm in a predatorial deal right now, and I know lots of people that are in other predatorial deals, and I've been through all this kind of stuff. So I completely get like artists being screwed, having gone through it, myself. And so the whole idea for this company is to surround the company around the artists, as opposed to artists who have to outsource and pay for all of their services. Every single person inside of Cosmic Wire is on a back-end royalty system. So it's really for the first time ever, even our attorneys actually, everyone's on the same side of the table, right? The only way anyone makes any money here is if the projects are successful. So it really incentivizes all of these kind of people around the artist, as opposed to the artist trying to incentivize people around them, which is the whole model, is just to kind of turn the model around, because at the end of the day, it's the content creators that drive the industry, right? And this company is built around that idea. And so Ruby was just kind of someone that really kind of pulled at my heartstrings, because I get what happened to him through the years, and I kind of get how people have taken advantage of it and how he hasn't really got the credit that he deserves. So this was like something I really wanted to shine a light on, and it just really is kind of the heartbeat of what we're doing as a company too. So there's just a lot of synergy there. So it's been amazing getting to know Ruby. Like, he's a good friend now. He's an inspiration to me. He's kind of, someone I really look up to, and I love like being a part of this whole thing with him. So it's been a really special project, for us as a company too. And I can't think of a better way to show the world what we're going to do with NFTs than partnering up with Ruby Mazur in this whole project.
So Scott,
this is only the beginning of this. We've got a lot more projects we're going to be doing after this, and we're going to be working with Rudy quite a lot.
So Scott, talk about this. You've had this smile on your face since the Sue Wong event.
Yep.
When you and Jerad and the girl were there, and you had a bunch of things you were talking about then. So from the Sue Wong event to where you are today, what's been going on with everybody you've been talking to? Because Danielle's in Portugal. She loves Leland Sklar. So she paid attention to you, and she was honored to be coming on with you because it was a last minute thing. So she goes, I want to meet Scott Page. I'm like, turns out we got Scott coming on at 1. So that's how that came out.
Great. Yeah. It's really actually been very exciting. It really all happened when, I was getting approached by a bunch of different people on my NFTs for my Pink Floyd stuff. Right. And then I just saw all these deals were not very good deals. And it was still the Wild West. And I come out of technology, having technology companies and things. And so I realized that, wait a minute, I think I'm going to go my own route. So I actually called connected up with a friend. It's a blockchain guy that's been really instrumental in a lot of building out some of these, like EOS built out those platforms. He's in the blockchain. We started talking about, this NFT space and going and starting to build something. And then I met up with Jerad, and I started seeing what Jerad had with his whole marketing engine and the pieces that they've built there at Cosmic, which is really special. And we just hit it off, right? So every night we were on the phone, man, doing Zoom calls, talking all night, talking about this stuff. And then so I decided I was going to go launch my stuff with Cosmic Wire. From that, we started talking more about, well, hey, I've got all these people with great IP. How about if I start bringing them in? I had also started working with my thing that I was doing with Livin', which which is our whole live performance, which actually kind of ties in. So we basically started really kind of brainstorming this whole thing together, and now it's kind of grown into this new thing. And Leland Sklar is one of our next ones. He's actually part of the campaign we're doing with Ruby right now. This whole fuck cancer thing that's going on. We've got a whole deal that we're going out to raise some money to really support some of these different organization stuff working on ways to fight cancer. Ruby's story is really interesting once he gets into kind of explaining how he did that. So anyway, we started bringing in different folks. Leland Sklar, he's going to be the next one we're going to be launching with a whole series of I guess you would call them collectible cards. It's very interesting based on his book, Everybody Loves Me. I don't know if you saw that book at all, where he's got all the people. So we've done that. Now that's actually getting tied into the whole campaign. Rudy's building, Rudy right down here is building a thing. No, actually Ruby's actually doing, going to be part of our collectible cards and is working on a Leland Sklar right now, which will be a rare card. That'll be a Ruby inside the collectible card situation, world. And so, yeah, this whole thing's just blowing up. We're bringing in, we have a whole series of products that we're getting ready to NFT. Ruby was our first out of the gate, but we have about a half a dozen other ones we're in the gate right now that are getting ready to unfold. And it's all going to tie into the story where we're going to use this entire platform with all the artists and everybody to start working on ways that we can support and fund a lot of this cancer research that's going on. So we're bringing in the whole community, and it's going to grow. And thank you, Ruby, for starting this whole thing off. I think it's going to be an incredible journey. All our artist friends are jumping on board. So this thing's going to start growing throughout the year. And we're very excited about it.
So I want to go here.
Yeah, I just found out yesterday. I'm sorry. I just found out yesterday my buddy Marky Ramone from the Ramones is on board. And Elliot Randall, former guitarist of Steely Dan. So a lot of my friends are coming to the forefront now. And we're all going to fuck cancer.
Yeah. There you go.
So Maddy, this is a good segue into tell Scott, Rudy, and Jerad what
Ruby.
What you have to go through?
I think I'm going to change my name to Rudy.
And then you'll be going Rudy, not Ruby.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, that's okay. Yeah, it's really amazing to hear that you guys are working on that project, because it's definitely something that resonates with me a lot. Not in exactly the same sense, but I'm 21 now. So about 6 years ago, when I was 15, I was diagnosed with advanced autoimmune liver disease. Told there was no cure, pretty much just take this handful of pills every day. We'll deal with the side effects when they happen, and pretty much, that's gonna be your life. And it's been very challenging. I didn't feel like going to university was something that I was able to really do. So I'm living at home right now, and it's tough. So I actually just, as I was telling Ruby before,
Thank you.
Opened up. Yes, of course. I just opened up my own clothing brand, and it's called 478. And really the idea behind this brand is really to just connect with ourselves and find health, within, and not really necessarily give away our power to all those doctors and, the ones prescribing us all those medications, and really take our health into our own hands, mentally and physically. So it's really all about, manifestation, law of attraction, meditation. And those are practices that I've brought into my life recently, and have honestly made the world of difference. Even within the past 6 months is really when I started studying and getting into these things. And I feel like such a different person, just because I feel like there's, hope that I can not necessarily completely cure myself of my disease, but it sure helps with the daily day-to-day things.
You can.
Thank you.
You can.
Yes.
I do believe, that I can. And of course, it's a lot of hard work, but it's so worth it. And it's really just realizing that you do have a choice, and, you want to make those daily choices from a place of health and power, rather than those choices from a person who's sick, that person who was diagnosed however many years ago. And so that's really what my brand is about, is just connecting with ourselves and creating a better, healthier lifestyle for ourselves.
Well, I think we're finding so many more people now that are finding these alternative ways and are actually beating it. And the power of just our own minds and our consciousness and who we are. It's amazing how when we get these things in our head, how we kind of manifest stuff. If we can flip that conscious thinking about who we are and what we are, it's amazing. I mean, I have a bunch of friends that have been doing the same thing. And I actually just lost my best friend 2 days ago to cancer. And so he, so this strikes everyone. And so what's great is I think we're looking with what Ruby has done, for at least for me, is really thinking about a lot of these alternative ways and looking at all the different types of research where a lot of this stuff is now really starting to work. And so I'm excited, and I'm excited for you, girl, for
Thank you so
taking
much.
that path, because that's what matters.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly. Thank you so much. And I mean, it's something that people at any age can do. I mean, it's definitely challenging being a little bit younger, because I find, it's at that time in their life where people, my age are like, I don't care about my health. I just want to drink and party and do this. And I'm like, no, like our health is really like, it's all we have. Like we do have a sense of control and power over it. And Ruby, I don't know if you've heard of him, but someone I'd encourage you to look into is Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Oh yeah.
So I follow him. I do his meditations every day, have all his books, and I'm hoping to go see him once travel restrictions lift a little bit. But I would definitely look into him. He's changed my life like so much. So maybe look into him as well.
When I was diagnosed with a brain tumor, they told me that they couldn't even operate because there were thousands of blood vessels surrounding the tumor. I would bleed out on the table. And he said, well, we're going to drill through your skull and do a biopsy and decide how much chemo and radiation to give you. And I said, no, not so quick. So he said, okay, let's wait 6 weeks. We'll take another MRI to see how much bigger it got, because honestly, if we could save your life from 6 months to maybe a year, that would be terrific. And I said, terrific for you, not for me. So I came home, and my daughter flew out to Maui, and she Google searched and found this world-renowned Chinese medicine acupuncturist living here on Maui. So I was in tremendous pain from my back to my neck, around into my eyes, almost in tears. She said, Dad, you got to go see him. I said, okay. So I go to see him, and he said, do you really want to live? And I said, yeah, I have a lot more paintings to do. And he said, okay, well, we can beat this thing. And I said, yeah, okay. And then he starts banging my head and smacking my face and sticking pins all over me. And I come home, and my daughter said, so how do you feel? I said, he's a freaking quack. He's banging my head. I have a brain tumor. Well, I went to sleep that night, and I woke up the next day, zero pain, zero. And he said, I want you to go. I want to see you every other day. I want you to go to the beach every day and meditate for an hour and a half. And my mantra was, go away, go away, go away. Well, 6 weeks later, I had the MRI, and the head neurosurgeon of Kaiser calls me up, and he said, Ruby, have you been taking steroids? I said, no, I don't take anything. I said, why? Figuring now he's going to tell me I have 3 months to live. And he said, it's completely gone. Your tumor is gone.
Wow.
And I said, are you looking at somebody else's MRI? He goes, no. I've never seen this, but it's gone, not a trace.
Wow.
I didn't believe it. I said, well, give me 2 discs, the first MRI and the second. I sent it to the head of Lenox Hill Neurosurgery and Mount Sinai in LA. They both called me back saying, incredible, it's gone.
Wow.
So that's pretty miraculous. The tumor was bigger than a quarter, they said.
Wow.
That's an incredible story. So it's the power of the mind and the power of healing and what it can do is incredible. That's very.
It truly is.
It really is, and it's not given enough credit nowadays, I find. So it's really great that, you know, I feel like everyone's starting to come back to it and really realize its true power, and it's just so amazing.
We have so much power in our minds.
We do.
To set our path.
So Danielle,
and people just give in and say, "Okay, I'm going to die."
Yeah, and they give up. Yeah.
Danielle, your thinking on this is what from Portugal?
Yeah, this is incredible. Very inspiring. You know, just like your story, I also had it was my husband's aunt. You know, that she was also diagnosed with a breast cancer. It was very long time ago. And they also told her that she wouldn't live more than 6 months. You know, 6 months would be a miracle for you. And they decided to do the chemo for her, just to, you know, for a matter of conscience, you know, just to be relieved that they tried something on her. Mm-hmm. And she did. And she beat the cancer. And then after this first one, she got 3 more different in other parts of the body. She beat all of them and she died. Very, very old lady, cozy. Wow. And, you know, she have lived a beautiful life. She has lived a beautiful life. And it's amazing to know these stories and also to raise awareness for those disease, you know, both cancer or both like Med has, you know, that I don't know if it's considered rare, you know, but we are so busy in our business today that we don't pay attention to this, don't pay attention that this can take on everyone. You know, I myself, I also have something very strange. It's a tumor in my head also, but it's not cancer, it's benign, but it's so rare that it, even for my specific, there is no records in medicine register, the way, the place it's located in my head, you know, and what sucks up, sorry for the word, but in this case is that because it's rare, nobody is conscious about, nobody is aware on how it conditions your life, you know, your quality life. And it's amazing to be surrounded by people like Ruby, you know, who has gone through this amazing miracle. You know, it's very important that people talk more about this case, because we are so you know, with things that are superficial. We don't go, yeah. This is important to talk about this.
So Jerad,
and the beautiful thing, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just saying how, you know, everything happens for a reason.
Exactly.
And there's a reason for it. I mean, I knew coming up for me personally, it was my landmark of creating the Mouth and Tongue for the Stones. And then how I fell in and met Scott and Jerad, and how what we've done is really revolutionizing the art world by having this whole new world of NFTs where they make a painting come alive. And it's just very exciting. I feel like I'm in the frontier on the Wild Wild West. You know, it's just going to explode and change. And Jared's genius and Scott, and, you know, it's just mushrooming. It's very exciting. it's given me a whole new life of creativity.
Yay.
So Jerad, on the social media side of stuff, how do you take this? Where do you go from here?
Well, the whole cause is basically kind of what we've all been talking about. I mean, cancer touches everyone. It's everywhere. I mean, my mom's a cancer survivor too. It's my mom's twin died of brain cancer when, you know, they were really young. It's just something that we all need to like focus on. And coming out of this pandemic, and we're all kind of scattered, and all the depression, like it just felt like this was like such a good thing that we could all come together on and like inject some positivity and unity back into the world, you know, because we've all been so segregated, and it's just so much polarization and anger. Like it's just trying to flip the script and do something really positive with people and show them a new way, while integrating this kind of exciting NFT space and educating people about what it is and how we're bringing the power back to content creators and direct to consumer marketing. And, you know, there's so many different things kind of rolled into this that we're just doing a lot of really cool things at the same time. And I think the biggest thing that comes out of this is just the unity of the message. It's like artists being able to go and deliver their stuff in a brand new way. And like Ruby said, it is the Wild West. I don't even know if it's Wild West. I call it dirt and cactus. You know, I think it's pre-Wild West right now. But we're definitely kind of like doing something that's never been done before. We're doing it around something that really impacts people's lives and is important to all of us. And it's just so many things kind of rolled into one, and I'm just excited to be a part of it. And the art community, the music community, like where we all come from, you know, like all of my kind of like 90s and early 2000s music friends are involved in this. You know, Scott has his music community, and then one of our other partners, Dennis, is really plugged into kind of the opera and the jazz and the Broadway world. And it's cool to see this entire community come together around this thing that's just bigger than all of us and means so much to everyone that's part of it. And we're really impacting the world. And this is a long campaign. And the coolest thing about it is that Ruby is kind of the beating heart of it now. Like he is the story. He's the one that kind of made this real for everyone. And so he's going to be included in all of our clients rolled out throughout the year. Like we're including some Ruby paintings in like Leland Scalar's NFT packages, and we're going to be calling them Rubies. And there's going to be incentives and kind of things tied in with that throughout the year, because we really want to create symmetry of message for everyone that's involved in this, because that's kind of how we make these things happen, right? It's just a lot of people waving the same flag at the same time.
So Scott
and the very exciting thing is we just launched this last Friday here on Maui, and right out of the gate, we sold the first one for $1.1 million.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, it was, none of us were really ready for any of this, because this is a brand new space. And even when Ruby was telling, you know, the story live from the video that's kind of going all over right now, like I knew that Ruby was sick, but I didn't even know the details of that until he kind of like dropped that bomb on us. So the whole thing has just been a very kind of real-time experience. And it's just, you can feel the energy, like there's something happening here, and we're all part of it together, and we're all just doing it. Like this is kind of a societal revolution, and it's cool to be a part of it.
Jerad, how can people reach out to you? We got about 2 minutes.
Just find us, you know, you can Google Cosmic Wire. Again, my artist producer stuff is under Blazar. You know, they're all very researchable domains. Ruby's store is rubymazurnft.com. And this is kind of like the first one.
Ruby,
RUBYMAZUR, right? Even though he may be the Rudy story, he is Ruby.
and Scott?
Oh yeah, everything is IAM Scott Page, across the board. So you can just find me on all those platforms there.
Right, we're very vocal, we're very active. Like anyone that talks to us, we're kind of clapping back at right away, because this is a very kind of like guerrilla marketing, person to person thing, and that's what this has always been. So the more people in the community that kind of get involved with this, that's what we're all about.
And then I'm setting up a show for you guys to come in the studio for Scott and Jerad. Scott, working out. We're just gonna nail down the date, all right?
Yep.
And then
sounds good, man.
So Maddy, give your social media links.
Yeah, so my personal is Maddy_Rose223. And then my website is 478shop.com. And the brand's Instagram is 478_official.
Danielle?
DanielleMartins.com, Danielle Martins official on social media, and Danielle Martins everywhere.
So Ruby and Rudy, you get the final word. Go.
I just want everybody to think positive, be strong, and you can kick its ass.
Yeah.
You can't get any better than that.
I've been getting hundreds and hundreds of messages on social media how I inspire them with their cancer or their mom's cancer or this. We can all do it. If I could do it, anybody could do it. Think positive. Take a half hour, go to your bathroom, go to your bedroom, quiet, and just tell it to go away. You could do it. You could do it.
So, social media links. Go ahead.
Well, like Jerad said, RubyMazurNFT.com if you want to bid on one of my collection of paintings. My website is RubyMazurGallery.com. And social media is rock_n_Ruby. I'm in the Holly Fine Art Gallery on Maui. As of August 6th, I'll be in the Venetian Hotel in Las Vegas. August 7th, in the Planet Hollywood Wyland Gallery. And in the fall, I'll be in Lake